Welcome back to my official podcast. This is Gaurav, and today there is a very special show today. Because obviously there is a special guest coming all the way from England. Obviously, you all know him. That he's the one of the best spinner that England left arm spinner England has ever produced. Is none other than Monty Panesar from England. Thank you, Monty sir. It was a pleasure. It was thank you, sir, for coming to my show. It was a very I'm very happy and very excited and very nervous today that you have come in my show, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, thank you for having me. Absolute pleasure to be on the show.
Okay. So, sir, let's start with this cricket discussion. First of all, obviously, I want to discuss something about India versus England series. You have seen all this four matches that has happened. So, what's your point in the this series that has happened in the four Test matches? And obviously, I think there is one more match that will be played in wherever. Let's see whatever happens in this one Test match. So, what was your reaction after seeing that Test series, sir?
Yeah, look, I was pleasantly surprised by the Indian team. They always had a good seam attack, and they managed to find ways to take 20 wickets, and actually they got better as the Test matches went on. So it was a shame about the last one because of the COVID outbreak. But I think in general, India definitely played the better cricket.
And so, don't you think the World Test Championship loss that happened before this England series, they have realized one thing, that the 4-1 combination that really works in England?
Yeah, it definitely works in England. Having four seamers and one spinner. But the fourth seamer has to be an all-rounder. That's how it works. I think you need to have a good all-rounder that is playing in England. So when the next World Test Championship happens at Lord's in a couple of years' time, I'm sure the two teams who play in the final will need a good all-rounder, preferably a seamer, because the conditions tend to favor the seamers in England.
Because earlier we used to have that we need to play Ravichandra Ashwin and Ravindra Jadeja no matter where we are playing. I think we have seen all this happening in Australia also, but I think in the last series, once we have won this series in Australia, Ravindra Jadeja got injured and Ashwin made his opportunity count. And US, I think you were quite surprised that you wasn't watching Ravichandra Ashwin playing in this Test series.
Well, because of Shardul Thakur, because he's bowled really well, and he got a couple of wickets against Joe Root. He got him out. He seems to get that ball to move a little bit late. He's always, got the knack of doing something with the ball, even just before the second new ball, or when there's nothing happening, and with the other seamers. So I think he's been a real good addition to this Indian team. And I think Test matches away, well, you may possibly see him play more than Ashwin.
Yes.
But I think, that could be a possibility.
And sir, Ravindra Jadeja, once you see him as an all-rounder, how vital he has been for India in the overseas condition, especially once the batting he gives you in the middle order. I think he hasn't contributed a lot in this India versus England series, but apart from that, he has been quite vital for Indian team as an all-rounder moving ahead.
Yeah, he's always been a good addition. I think even in Australia, his batting, that's when it's really started in Sydney, when Vikram Rathore, helped his batting, and it really come along.
Yes.
So I think if there wasn't the emergence of an all-rounder kind of like Thakur, I think they probably would have played two spinners throughout the whole series. But since they had that option, I think the left arm spinning option, because Ravindra Jadeja bowls slightly I think he bowls better defensively than Ashwin can do.
Yes.
So that combination, I think, worked well for India.
Okay, let's move forward to IPL. How are you seeing the second phase of the IPL, and are you impressed with the kind of pitches that is being here in the Sharjah and the Dubai and obviously in the Abu Dhabi, that you might expect a 140 and 150 kind of a total, and that will be defended by the other team batting first?
Yeah, and I think that's what's been the great delight of the IPL this year. You kind of thought that, you haven't seen heavy scoring matches, but you've seen a lot of close matches. And I guess that keeps the viewer very much interested. glued to the screens rather than switching off after maybe the 15th over and thinking that game is over. So I
Yes.
think, IPL this year has been, absolutely brilliant.
And obviously, we have seen one of the closest matches in the second phase of the IPL today. We have seen that AB de Villiers wasn't able to finish the matches. But so once we have discussed about the IPL, and I definitely discussed you that 140 and 150 will be a challenging kind of a score in this kind of wicket. So what are the because obviously once I was seeing the England team for the T20 World Cup, I think I only saw two spinners. I think Moeen Ali and Adil Rashid. Don't you think England could have added Pakistan in this squad?
Well, I think because both of the spinners are so good, and I think India may even add, when they finalize their squad on the 10th of October, um,
Yes,
uh, they may even add, Chahal, the leg spinner, because I
yes,
think the option of leg spin is going to be slightly more difficult to line up, and as you've seen with Bishnoi and also, I remember Chahal. So I think Adil Rashid is going to be obviously a huge asset on these wickets. So there could be. I wouldn't be surprised if we see a leg spinner being added to the squad.
Sir, since you have been one of the greatest spinners of England team, so you have discussed about Yuzvendra Chahal also. So because India hasn't included Yuzvendra Chahal in the Indian team, and selectors have told everyone that Yuzvendra Chahal has been very slow in for this kind of pitches. You need a faster spinner for a variation in this kind of pitches. So what's your think on that? Because what do you think that people who spinner who has a lot of pace, who can bowl 85 or 90 kilometer, who will produce more, who will take more wickets, and a bowler like Yuzvendra Chahal, who's not been too fast, will take a lot of wicket in second phase of the IPL, because we have seen that he's getting a lot better day by day in the second phase of the IPL.
Yeah, very much so. And sometimes it's a different, phase. There's a style or pitch that suits certain spinners than the
Yes,
others. I think with the leg spinners, you've seen it particularly. It doesn't matter which part of the innings you're at. You're always in the game.
yes,
We've seen Ravi Bishnoi take some wickets in the power
yeah.
play, and even in the finger spinners. If the pitch is slightly on the slow side or breaking up a little bit early, then yeah, they seem to be a bit more dangerous. But I think the leg spinners have really impressed me, and I'm great to see that we've got a great leg spinner in Adil Rashid. So that would be good. I think I'm really excited about the T20 World Cup.
So you have talked about the T20 World Cup. So what's according to you, your fourth team will be in the semi-final for the T20 World Cup, sir?
I think West Indies, England, Pakistan, and India.
Okay, let's move to the Ashes, sir, because obviously there has been a lot of talk about the Ashes. What's the mood in the England right now? Will England A team will tour to Australia, or will England B or C team? I'm just hearing this out that if the COVID situation will not get normal in this Australia, and the quarantine rules will not be normal in the Australia, England won't be sending their even B or C team, whatever it is. So, what's your take on the Ashes, sir? First of all.
Yeah, look, I think England are actually going to tour Australia, and they've come to an agreement where their families can quarantine and they could travel with them during the Boxing Day
Okay.
and the New Year's Test. I think the question
Okay.
mark will be where will be the fifth Test match, because it may not be
Yes.
in Perth. They still, anyone entering Western Australia, you got to still quarantine for 14 days. So there could be the
Wow.
possibility of Hobart or Canberra could be the fifth Test match, which which could be great, for the like of Canberra. They normally see warm up games or one day international games.
Yes.
Seeing
Yes.
I think a Test match at the capital of Australia, as the capital of Australia, I think that would be wonderful to see.
And so, I think you might see that Ben Stokes and Jofra Archer will not be touring to this Australia. So, how much bigger blow if England will definitely go to the Australia? So, how much bigger blow is this for England team, and what kind of impact they produces if they are in the team? So, I think they are obviously Ben Stokes is a two kind of a player. He produces. He's a very good batsman. He's a very good handy bowler, and obviously he's very good in the slip also. And Jofra Archer is will be more, could have been more than a lethal in this kind of a pitches where he has a very good pace, and he has also a very good bouncer also.
Yeah, with Jeffrey Archer, I think is his elbow really. He hasn't if he doesn't recover
Yes.
and the way he bowls, and he may not get that pace back. So he's obviously taken as long as possible to get back fully recovered. And with Ben Stokes, I think he's had a second operation, so he may look to participate during the Ashes at some point, which will be great news. So overall, I think he's had a bit of a break, and hopefully he's in a good place mentally and he's ready to go. So look, look, this Ashes is over £100 million broadcast.
Yes.
It's huge.
Yes.
So we needed it to go ahead, and it's great to see that the Australian government and some of the states have been practical and flexible to make this happen. So it's good news. It's good for cricket, because for Test cricket, we need the Ashes to be a competitive series, like we saw with India versus England. That was a great series.
Yes.
So
Yes.
for Test cricket, we need these kind of Test matches, and I would like to see maybe Test cricket going into the fourth and the fifth day in India. They tend to produce
Yes.
turning pitches, and I don't think world cricket can play at that sort of turning pitches apart from India.
Okay.
It's just the ball turns too much, and I think the India team is strong enough to beat overseas teams in India, even on flatter pitches.
Yes, you are very much right about it. And also, I also think that I think you it is very okay that you might see a ball turning on the day three, that day four, but it is quite difficult that the pitch, if the ball started to turn on the first day, it is quite difficult to handle. So and once India plays in this kind of a pitches, the matches doesn't go for even a four or fifth day. So that is. It is quite disheartening to see in this kind of matches in this Indian team, for this Indian team, because Indian team is very well settled and with a very well combination set. I think they need to play on the in the flat pitches, and in every condition they can, because they can manage to beat every team at any cost. So let's move ahead with this. You are obviously following this IPL. So what are the talent you have seen this kind of in this year's second phase of the IPL, and obviously in this year IPL? So
Yeah, look, I've been impressed with the Hyderabad, Kashmiri Express. He's
yes,
been a really good find, by Irfan
yes,
Pathan, who on my podcast, Monty Meets, he was telling me before the
okay.
IPL, he said, Monty, watch out for this express bowler from, Jammu, Kashmir. And
Jammu
when I
Kashmir.
went there for 2 years to groom the talent and pick the best out of the crop, he's done a wonderful job. I think Irfan Pathan has really helped, that side of the world, and brought out, the best of talent. Obviously, due to the whatever political tensions, at least
Yes.
he's helping in that region to get the best talent coming through. So that's brilliant. I've seen that. I'm very, impressed with that. I'm impressed with the left arm, spinner from Punjab Kings, and also the left arm seamer. I think
Harpreet Barar,
yes, both of them have been very impressive. Um,
Ravi
uh,
Vishnu.
yes. So that's been really good. And I think in general, for me, I've been happy to see how Isha, the Mumbai left-hand youngster,
Ishan
Ishan,
Kishan.
yes, Ishan Kishan, how he was able to turn around his performance. That's a
Yes.
great sign for any youngster, that every youngster will go through a lean, tough patch. And sometimes, use the opportunity, go and speak to the opposition, best player, speak to commentators. He had the chance to speak to KP, Virat Kohli. Just do that.
Yes.
When you're there, just go and, as a youngster, it takes a lot of courage, but you just go out there and get their advice. And sometimes their advice can help you to get back in form much quicker.
And I know, sir, you have to go somewhere else. So, final question. My final question is to you, sir. What's your prediction for the Ashes series, sir?
Well, I think it's the top order again. England top order has always been a question mark, and even if
Yes.
England do well with the ball, I think Australia still will be thinking, we can put pressure on the top order. And Joe Root, how will he perform? There's no Ben Stokes. So again, it just depends on England's top order. If they perform well, then yeah, got a chance. At the moment, the way they're not doing so well, I think Australia probably be the team that will win the Ashes, just because the batting. I just don't think our batting is, the England batting is strong enough at the moment.
And can we see Jimmy Anderson for the very last time in Australian soil?
Yeah, I probably do think so. I think it'll probably be the last time we see the likes of Jimmy Anderson, Stuart Broad, on Australian soil. So this will be a very sort of historic, moment, and also one that we would all cherish. They've been the best, since Glenn McGrath,
Yes.
Shane Warne, Curtly Ambrose, Courtney Walsh,
Yes.
Waka Yunis, Wazim Akram. There you have Jimmy Anderson, Stuart Broad.
Thank you, sir. It was a pleasure talking to you. I hope you've enjoyed this conversation between you and me. And I know I was a little nervous from the start, but I was okay after that. So thank you, sir. It was a pleasure talking to you, sir.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay, guys, do like the video. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon. Until then, we will meet tomorrow.